Georgia prosecutor Fani Willis has filed for an emergency seal on Trump's 2020 election case after testimonial videos from 4 defendants leaked. The defendants have all accepted plea deals from the state, deals that lessen their sentences in exchange for the testimony that's now available for the public to hear. The defendants are former Trump attorneys Kenneth Chesebro, Jenna Ellis, Sidney Powell, and bail bondsman Scott Hall. According to the Washington Post, lead prosecutor Fani Willis is known for sweeping indictments with multiple defendants and then a series of plea deals. Those plea deals sometimes include testimony that reveal further evidence she can then use against remaining defendants. So did anything from the leaked testimonies incriminate Trump? According to the Post, which obtained portions of the recordings, the audible portions of the testimony don't directly implicate him. And one portion from Powell's interview could actually help his case. But the portion of video receiving the most attention comes from the testimony of Jenna Ellis. She says a White House aide said Trump didn't plan to leave the White House after the 2020 election.
And he said to me in a kind of excited tone, well, we don't care and we're not going to leave. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, the boss, meaning President Trump, and everyone understood the boss, that's what we all called him. He said the boss is not going to leave under any circumstances. We are just going to stay in power.
It's this portion of the video recording that is making the headlines. Here's a look at the media landscape showing left-leaning news outlets are covering the former Trump attorney saying she heard from a Trump aide that Trump wasn't going to leave the White House. But whether this sort of testimony will even be admissible in court is unknown, as it could be hearsay. In response to the leaked testimony, Trump's lead attorney said the only salient and telling fact is that President Trump left the White House on January 20th, 2021 and returned to Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida. If this is the nonsense line of inquiry being pursued and this is the type of bogus, ridiculous evidence DA Willis intends to rely upon, it is one more reason that this political travesty of a case must be dismissed. In Sidney Powell's leaked testimony, she says Trump really believed he had won the election, which could help his defense.
Well, he knew all his instincts told him he had been defrauded, that the election was a big fraud. Well, he talked about, seeing the vote totals roll backwards on the TV.
Meaning on election night.
Yeah. And the unbelievable spikes, how far ahead he was in different states at the time all the machines stopped counting, and how it should have been impossible to make up that sort of vote difference without some kind of shenanigans.
Even though Powell pleaded guilty as part of the deal, her testimony revealed she still maintained a lack of involvement and still vocalized her belief that voting machine fraud tainted the 2020 election. The prosecution says the video testimony was confidential and not released by the state to any party other than all defendants charged in the indictment as required by law. The prosecution says it will no longer share video recordings to any defense attorneys in the case. They will have to view statements in person and take notes.